Here's that Meghan Markle's in hot water once again with the crew that she so desperately needs to be on side for her very latest venture. But what on earth can Meghan have done now? Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Lovely to have your company. If you're wondering exactly where I am, in the heart of London today, this is the Novello Theatre. It's home currently to the ABBA musical Mamma Mia. But of course it's had very rich history indeed. I have a bit of a connection with that myself, and as I say, one day I may share some of that showbiz background. We're all so busy right now, I can't fit it all in, but let me tell you, there's a very famous man attached to this building also. You've seen it right now at the side of your screen, Ivor Novello. Ivor Novello, of course, has an award ceremony over here in London every year. It's called the Novello, it's not why they shortened it. But of course he did so much for the world of musical theatre, and he had so many great stars with him. He was, of course, a man of an era. In the 1920s, he was Britain's biggest movie star, making movies with even the legendary Alfred Hitchcock. Oh yes, but by the 1940s, he was the king, literally, of musicals, with musicals like King's Rhapsody, and of course big hit songs like Waltz of My Heart. Now, Ivor lived and sadly died in a flat above the theatre here, and there is that very special blue plaque. That's what I love about London. Wherever you turn, there's some incredible history. Look Ivor Novello up. He sadly seems to have been forgotten in the world of musical theatre of late. I know, as I said, there's the award ceremony, but his musicals seem a little bit dated to be possibly revived. But they have some wonderful tunes attached to them. Back as ever to your breaking roll story of the day. This really all centres on, of course, the evergreen Meghan Markle. As we know, she recently put out the very first teaser for her podcast. It's all about empowering women, women who don't have a voice, women who are never heard. I don't know where she gets that from. She never shuts up, you know. We're always hearing about how she's overlooked and never had a voice, all that sort of stuff. Not according to her father, Thomas, or including, of course, some of her former co-stars from Suits, allegedly. But here's what we found out now, and there's a big problem actually for Meghan regarding that podcast. We know Meghan likes to see herself as a bit of a feminist. We saw that when she was in the British monarchy for a few seconds and was always ready, willing and able to get up and give a speech at the drop of a hat. Never shy, of course, about going on for quite some time at these various events. And a lot of people said at the time that they hadn't actually asked for a speech. She offered it. So obviously she wanted to get a voice out there. And, you know, nonetheless, that's her prerogative at that point. That is the deal. But of course, it's the feminist movement that she's trying to attach herself to. And that's really sort of backfiring. Now, you're going to see more of this in the next few days because a rather prominent feminist is coming out against Meghan Markle herself. And here's the reasons why. She claims, of course, that how can Meghan possibly be a front for this particular movement? And as ever, we have to say allegedly, because she's basically saying, well, here is a woman who gave up her career, her religion, her family, her country, to come and live in another country, all for the love and marriage of another man. How is that radically feminist? How are you basically being your own woman? Now you can see this particular version of events' point of view, can't you? It's not very easy to digest when you're saying, well, you've got to stand up for yourself, don't be the underdog. You know, it's not easy being the underdog, but when you think about it, how quick did Meghan give in to being the underdog and giving her literally everything away to become part of a family that she said she knew nothing about, in order, of course, to make sure that she married the man that she loved? What's interesting here is, depending on whether the podcasts are engaging and of course enlightening, and as ever, the guests that Meghan gets, I can see nothing but once again trouble against her, because a lot of the female leader writers over here in the United Kingdom are already saying we don't need any more whiny podcasts from women basically saying they're the underdog. Women now more than ever have a bigger say and are more powerful. There are more women CEOs in the world than ever before. So Meghan, as ever, is going to have to tread very carefully if she wishes to get the right track for that all-important podcast, or else once again Spotify are going to be left going a little bit green, but this time it won't be with envy but with loss of listeners. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.